Hello, Leonardo. I can hear you. Please check the volume of your microphone. No, there is no sound in your microphone.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
How's going the things today, teacher, for you?
Good, lots of two meetings, two virtual encounters, a lot of work, but it was okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good
teacher.
evening.
Hello, Mayra. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. You?
Good. What about your day? Was it busy, Leonardo, Mayra?
It was, teacher. A lot of work.
Yes, teacher. A lot of work.
Both of you work at a school, right?
I do.
No,
Mayra, you work for a school?
Yes, teacher, I do.
And what courses do you teach?
It's transition.
So you need a lot of energy.
Yes.
Those
I
little
have
kids.
25 kids.
How many?
25.
25. If you have only one crazy boy or girl,
No. Like 7 or 8.
yeah, you have 7 crazy
Yeah.
boys and girls.
Yeah.
Mm, They take your energy.
Yeah, they do. Today we were talking about coronavirus and the ways to take care of our health, and they were like saying many crazy things.
I that's I mean those little kids are like very innocent about the topic. Some of them get very scared about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Leonardo, you work for
part-time
you work part-time for a school.
for an institute.
Okay.
For an institute, and I sometimes work in a confamiliar, Futumayo,
Uh-huh.
with kids from age from 6 to 9, 10 years, Saturdays,
Uh-huh.
from and then schedule from 9 to 12. Sometimes some hours at morning or at noon. In the noon or at noon?
At noon.
At noon, okay. At noon, yes. But when I started, I was teaching preschool. I I was the first time when I stayed alone with the titular teacher. I thought that I was going to die, but I supervived
You
because
survived.
there was 20. So pre-jardín, jardín,
That's
very, but then that experience was very, very nice because when I was teaching in another school, they need, for example, and they did in Pereira de Día de la Pereiranidad.
uh-huh.
So the teachers need to get each other in and to do the things. Yes, the things. Say always call me to stay with the boys, with the preschool transition.
Mm. So you did a good job with those little kids.
Yes, yes, it's nice. It's very when you say things in English, and I love science, and so we made experiments. It's nice.
Okay. Good. Well, Juan Pablo, Hugo, good evening.
Good evening, teacher.
All right. So what we will do tonight is that you will share the experiences that you had, the anecdote that you wrote about. I will ask you some questions and I will show you some pictures so you can like tell us, answer the questions to tell us what happened in that anecdote. I will show you the pictures so you remember what you wrote about. And after that, we will work on the use of some connectors that is like linked with the idea of writing about writing a text or writing, in this case, an anecdote. So I don't know who wants to start. I will show you the picture so you have an example of what I will do.
I want to start it.
You want to start? Okay. So, for example, this is the picture I chose about Maida's experience anecdote. So, Maida, tell us when did it happen? You mentioned that you had a girl
A boy.
and a boy, right? So the girl is the oldest one, right?
No, I only had one child.
Ah, you only have one child? Okay,
Yeah.
I misunderstood. I misunderstood. All right, so you have a boy and he's 4 years old, right?
Well, he's 3.
He's 3. So this happened 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Where were you when this anecdote or this situation happened?
I was with my husband. I had an appointment with the doctor to have a ultrasound scan. So we were at the hospital.
Uh-huh. And what was or how many months of pregnancy did you have at the moment that you had that scan?
I had 9 months. That's supposed to be the day that he was going to be born. But I didn't feel anything. I was like, okay, without pain in my uterus. I was like totally fine. I just went to the hospital because I had the ultrasound scan.
Okay. And what did the doctor tell you?
So I was having the ultrasound scan, and the results, they used to be very fast, like in 5 minutes. But that day I waited like for 20 minutes. So they took longer. So I was like worried about that. And then when I saw the doctor talking to some other doctors and nurses, and then he told me that I had to go to the emergency room. So I received that information, but then I started to cry because he told me that my baby was suffering in that moment. So I was like shocked. And so I went out of um, of that room, and I told my husband, and I started to cry and cry a lot. I was very worried because, I thought my baby was going to die. That's what I thought in that moment.
So how many hours passed after you were told that that you needed a surgery and the moment the baby was born? How many hours passed?
I think 2 or 3 hours because I had to wait for the gynecologist.
Uh-huh.
So when he checked me out, he just told me that, yeah, this baby is going to be born
Uh-huh.
today.
Okay.
And so I think I waited like 2 or 3 hours when he told me that. And for the surgery, I waited like 5 or 6 more hours.
Okay, so you went to the doctor because that was the day that you expected to have or to that you expected that your baby was born, but you didn't
Yeah.
feel anything. You felt
No, it was a coincidence. We went to the hospital without my folder with the documents and the other um, results of the test. We went there without my baby's bag with his clothes. We were not ready. We planned. We had that day. We wanted to go to eat something because my husband was free that day. I was free also, so we had like other plans. And then Oliver was born.
Okay. So, right. So you expected to have a normal, let's say, to have no surgeries, and so you were like you went there for the check, and you were expecting to have any pain, so that to, that day will the day that you will have the pain will tell you that your baby was born, and was not that day when
Yeah.
you were experiencing any pain.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought maybe he was going to be born like a week after this day, December the 13th, because my cousin's baby, he was born also like a week after that. So when he was 40 weeks, well, his mother was 40 weeks of pregnancy. So we were like not ready. We were not ready that day, and I was expecting to have a natural birth. I was ready for that. I practiced well the way that we had to breathe, um, and all those stuff because I was afraid of having a surgery.
All right, but so finally you had the surgery done, and your baby was born without any uh, difficulty, right?
And yeah, I had the surgery, and he was born, yeah, like 5:36 in the afternoon, and he was okay. The problem that he had is that he was so big. He was very big, um, and my body, I don't know, my hips are so small, so he was not ready to be born, and he had like 40 weeks complete. So that's why the doctor said that he was suffering because
I
he was like stuck there.
Yeah, I see. That's what happens when the hips of the woman are narrow. So
Thanks.
it's necessary to have the surgery. I know
Yeah.
it because that's the way my brother, sister, and I were born. Because my mother had some narrow hips, so all of us were born because she had the surgery. Okay, good. Any question for Mayra about her experience? No question? Okay, Mayra, could you find the mistake in the word of this sentence?
Yeah. It's missing the E.
Exactly. Mhm. Because the other word, what is a synonym for the other word?
I don't know.
Profound.
What? Which one, Juan Pablo? We can hear you, Juan Pablo.
Give up and stop.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Give up, resign. When we talk about a job. Mhm. So quiet is the one, the correct one for this sentence.
Relax is the same, teacher.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Calm
the
down.
translation will be, I was calm down, relaxed, and quiet, like which are synonyms, right? But quit is a verb, which means when you stop working for a place or when you don't want to continue trying doing something. So that the mistake was that the E was missing for this sentence. Okay, good. So who wants to be next to answer the questions about experience?
Me, teacher.
Right, Leonardo. Leonardo, you
I
wrote an
sent.
anecdote about
Yes.
something that happened in Cali, right?
Yes. It was terrifying. It was very terrifying because, excuse me, teacher.
No. Say it, please. Continue.
Oh, yes, because I love riding my bike. So it happened 11 or 12 years ago, for about, and I used to ride up to climb up to the Cristo Rey. You see the Jesus with the arms
Open.
open. So I went to up good on even the hot the hot was and the warm was harder than on other days, but
Yes.
I started good. My rate rate climbing was getting better. Yes. So
Uh-huh.
I arrived to the top and I saw a beautiful from there. You can see a very spectacular view of the Cali. And when I started to download from the hill, from the hill. Ah, I didn't mention that the download the up the went up started at the statue of Mayra. Can you remember the statue? The name of the statue? Nicolas de Fernand. Nicolas de Fernand, who was the founder of Cali. Yes.
No, Sebastián de Belalcázar.
Eso. That's right. Yes.
All friends.
I was very mistaken. That's right. Oh, excuse me, Mayra. Years I didn't live there. Excuse me, real. Excuse me. So, okay, then the climb up started there. So, and when you go, you can on the road, you go and watch down, and you can see to the velodrome. Yes, it's nice. The views. Okay, I back to the. I started to download. Yes.
To
So
go
when
down.
I went to
Sorry.
to
To go
choose
down.
the brakes, the brakes, the the brakes didn't work. So you know what I feel? you, Daira knows how is the inclinate,
How?
the
No.
how is the
How?
is the
Forgot the word now.
inclinación
No.
inclinación de okay. I started to download very fast. I think 80 kilometers or 90 kilometers per hour because the system of the brakes didn't work. So my heart started to pump 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 pump. I say no, what I did. Some I feel very afraid. Yes, and suddenly I had a like angel told me send me a flashback. Some friends tell me that that happened one occasion, and he started to stop the bicycle with the soil of the shoe. I don't know if you use any of the boys or girls
I
did
did that
that.
one.
Yes. My sole of the choice finished total broken, but I I could stop the bicycle. It happened 2 occasions in Cali and in Pereira.
Ah, yeah.
Was
Again,
yes in Pereira coming from mm, fine in the finally the download from the terminal de Pereira is very inclined. I don't know if
pitch.
I said
I found it that is
pitch,
the pitch of the
and I lost the brakes. The cord of the brake tear. So no, I did the same. I did the same, and it was very
scary,
scary, very scary.
I guess. Okay, thanks, Leonardo. Questions for Leonardo about his experience?
How often do you take your bicycle to do maintenance? Maintenance.
Excuse me, can you repeat, please?
How often? Yeah, how often do you take your bicycle to maintenance to avoid these like situations to happen?
Never.
No, the thing is sometimes uh, uh, sometimes you be very trust with the brakes, and sometimes the brakes could broke.
Break.
So break could break. So you don't know when. Yes, because the time when it happened is that the cord of the brakes, the system of the brakes, has broken. Yes, I think that maybe it was. So now I'm very more careful than in that occasion.
All right. Any other question for Leonardo? Leonardo, take a look at this sentence. Could you please translate it into Spanish?
Esto pasó, esto sucedió.
Okay, so we just need one verb, right? It happened, right? Okay, here.
Yo usualmente rodaba, iba hacia arriba.
But the verb that is already in the past is used. So I use to ride.
Right up.
Because we already have a verb in the past. Okay. And this verb begin when you look for the word in the dictionary tells you if you need to use to or if you need to use ing. So in this case, the dictionary tells you that begin uses, if you are going to use a verb after the word begin, that verb needs to go with ing. It says that that's the way. So I began
Stopping.
Okay. Good. Thank you, Leonardo.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Who wants to be next? Hugo, Henry, or Juan Pablo? Okay, so I will say Hugo.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, so this experience happened in Melgar, right? How old were you when this situation happened?
Maybe 17, 17, yeah, 17 years old. That happened, I think, 18 years ago. Uh, I was in school. I think in the last grade to school in 11th grade.
Okay, so you went to Melgar on vacations.
Yes, we were six friends, and we were traveling in Melgar um, for a weekend, to a week.
Okay, so you were six friends. You were with six friends, right?
Yes, six friends. Yes,
Okay, and this situation happened at night, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so
In I remember that on the second day in Melgar, in the night, we were walking, and 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 a friend who name is Rafael said that he felt very bad, and touched his chest. Yes.
mhm. And what did you guys do?
Oh, at first I thought I thought that my friend Rafael was sick from from what we had eaten, because we had eaten a hamburger in a food truck. But my friend said his hair ate.
Uh-huh.
His hair age. Yes.
You had a
And
heartache.
yes. And that was not related to food, to hamburger.
Mhm. And so, well, that was the first thing that you thought. And then what did you decide to do?
In, in this moment, we were shocked, uh, and immediately uh, uh, called a taxi, uh, and took him to the hospital, uh, because he said, uh, excuse me, but because he told us to take him to a hospital,
Uh-huh.
and took him to the hospital, and other friend uh, went to the house and notified the two parents to my friend.
Mhm. And then,
In, in the hospital, um, the the parents of my friend arrived, and entered the emergency room. Um, um, After some minutes, the parents of my friend left the emergency room, and told us that's happened with Rafael, my friend. Rafael had arrhythmia,
uh-huh.
and he hadn't taken the medication eh, to and but but was nothing serious. Yes.
Okay, good. Questions for Hugo? Hugo, first sentence here says, another friend went to the house to notify the parents of Rafael. So each time we talk about a possession, we can use the apostrophe S. So,
Okay, Rafael's parents.
and for the verb notify, it happens kind of the same that with the verb begin. So we look into the dictionary, we look for the word in the dictionary, we will find out that this verb says that we notify something to somebody. So we notified that Rafael was sick to his parents, or we notify somebody, we notify Rafael's parents. That's what the rule says in the dictionary. So if we need to write, if we want to write to, as in Spanish, that we say notificar a alguien, we need to write first what we are going to notify. Notify Rafael's illness to his parents. But if you are not going to mention what you are going to notify, you don't use to. You say notify Rafael's parents.
Okay.
So here we need to erase the two. Then we didn't know about, how can we correct here?
Rafael's disease.
Exactly. And finally, we have but in the end, Rafael was felt good. Can you translate this into Spanish, please?
Mm, Rafael estaba sintiendo mejor.
Okay. But well, how can we correct that? This is sintió, no sintiendo.
Ah,
But here we use the verb just in past and to express that idea. Rafael se sintió mejor.
okay. Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you, Hugo. Let's see. We have here Henry.
Yep.
Okay. Tell us about your anecdote. It happened in Villavicencio. That's the place where you used to live, right?
Yeah, that was okay. This experience was approximately like 17, 18 years ago.
Were you?
I I have I was 12 years old,
Okay.
and we live in Villavicencio. And in that time, I was studying in a police primary school, and I remember that day My mom was at home. I was doing homework, and it was like 5:30, almost 6 p.m. And my brother, my little brother, he hadn't come back from school, so my mom was worried because um, he hadn't come yet to, at home. So mm, my mom said like, Henry, I need to go to the school because I need to find out what happened with your brother. And I said, yes, no problem. Like I want to stay here, but tell me if something happened. And when she was leaving, the phone rang, and she answered the phone, and a person uh, told her that my little brother had an accident, have had an accident, and I saw that she was very shocked and alarmed, um, and she didn't know what to do in that moment. So um, we went to the hospital. My brother was in a waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
He was waiting for the doctor, the surgeon. I don't know. I don't remember very well, but he was um, mm, lie down. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and I remember when I saw him in that bed, in a sofa. Sorry, in a sofa. He couldn't move his leg, his left leg, and my mom said, she said like, what happened? Like, why are you here? Like, and he started to cry. Yeah. Mm, when my mom um, was talking with my brother, a policeman um, asked her she if she was the if she was um, the mother. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And she said, yes, of course, I'm his mother. I know, I would like to know what happened because um, I don't understand anything. And the policeman explained to her what what happened. A taxi hit my brother in his leg, and and the car broke his left leg. Yeah, and mm, in that time it was that was the worst experience for me because I feel like a little blame
Why?
because my mom before early she said like, Henry, you have to pick
Uh,
your brother up and you have to come back to the at home. And I say, no mama, no mom, I'm doing homework and I can't. Yeah, and I opposed to and I opposed to do that. Yeah, and she said, okay, no one, it's okay. So we stay here and do your homework, and we wait to for your brother. Yeah, and later happened all the things that I told you.
how old were your brother at the time?
He was like 9 years old.
Uh,
Yeah, the school was very near at home, so I trust that nothing could happen so nothing bad could happen. Yeah. So I think I think that I remember. I still remember that experience. And sometimes I talk with my brother about that, and he doesn't remember anything. Like he remember a little thing, but some details, but mm, no no as me. Yeah.
Yeah, because you were older, I guess,
Yeah. Yeah.
you remember more details.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, questions for,
We have some pictures about him because he received like a 6 month treatment. I don't know how to say, but the 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 middle of his body was with Jesum, so it was a shocking experience.
I think it's a plaster, but let me check. Okay, questions for Henry? Yeah, it's a plaster.
Plaster, okay.
Okay, Henry, look at these sentences. In those sentences, you're talking about, in the first sentence, you're talking about
Well,
something that happened in the past, right?
mhm.
So your verbs are in the past. That's why this verb that is highlighted also needs to be in the
Mhm.
past.
Seen,
Exactly. Okay, and here in the second sentence, what happens is that two actions happen in the past, but one happened before than the other.
mhm.
So we need to use past
Okay.
perfect when,
Mhm.
to refer to the one that happened first.
Instead of was he had, sorry.
So how can we correct it?
The policeman who called us, oh, said that my brother, hmm, mm,
What's the past participle of the verb to be?
being, was being,
But not was.
yeah,
Because
not was. Mhm.
past participle is with what verb?
Had,
Exactly. So this action happened first.
mhm,
I mean, the car hit your brother, and then
mhm.
the policeman called. That's why this
Okay,
one is in past perfect and this one is in past simple.
okay.
What happens is that this one is in past perfect, but in a passive way.
Mhm.
This one is passive voice, but with past perfect. If you don't want to write passive voice, how can we change it? If you want to use active voice for both sentences, I mean, for the policeman who called us, that's active voice. And
Mhm.
then said that, and here, how can we change this one into active voice?
Even cool people say that. Mm, a car hit my brother.
Okay, but since the action of hitting your brother happened first, then calling,
heat.
Exactly. Had he never,
Mhm.
right? So we have
Okay.
both possibilities.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, Henry.
Thank you, teacher.
All right. So finally, we have Juan Pablo's anecdote. Juan Pablo, what happened with those pants? How come?
Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, okay. This happened to me about 2 years ago. My sister was 16, I think, and she was doing some homework in my house. Yeah, and when she was doing that, I went to the bathroom. It was in front. The bathroom it was in front of the place where she was doing the homework. But I used to leave the door open, yeah, because just my wife, yeah, just my wife and I used to live there. We don't live now yet there, and I forgot completely to close the door. And okay, I when I was in the bathroom, I pulled my pants down, but I have noticed that my sister was doing the homework in front of me. But when I realized the situation, she had seen me, but oh, she didn't say nothing. I was uh, very embarrassed. Yeah, she said me nothing. When I realized the situation, she was no looking at me. No, she saw me, but she didn't anything. I asked her if she had seen me, and obviously she had seen me because she was in front of me, and the door was open. And oh my God, I closed the door immediately, and in the bathroom I was very ashamed, and my wife was angry, of course, because my wife was angry because she had seen me. That happened to me.
Okay. Well, that's something for you to remember, to close the
Yes,
door always.
I never forget.
Good. Juan Pablo didn't find any mistake in your test,
Okay.
but you just said, hold on a second. What's wrong here? Oh, I can't write. I don't know what's wrong here. No, I'm going to write in the chat box because I don't know what's wrong. I can't write. I don't know what's wrong here. Well, you said she didn't say nothing. And when do we say nothing and when do we say anything? What is
Yeah.
the rule?
Yeah. I If I want to use the word nothing, I can use didn't. Yeah. I have to use she said nothing, and if I want to use anything, I can use the word with the negation, with didn't in this case. She
Exactly.
didn't anything. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, good. Good. Questions? No questions. So we can move to the next topic. Let me see. We are going to review some connectors. Something is wrong with this computer. I don't know what's wrong with this computer. I can write. But well, since I can write, I will just show you the screen. Okay, the idea is to review the connectors and to find out how we can connect sentences. Some sentences that I have here that are the ones used for an essay. So do you guys, what connectors do you guys remember that are used to connect ideas that are opposite, that are different? If I have two sentences and those two sentences are about two opposite ideas, what connectors can I use to make just one sentence?
On the other hand,
Okay, that's one. Which other? But is other connector.
In contrast to,
Okay, in contrast to, on the other hand, but,
even though,
even though, right. If I'm going to express cause and consequence, the first sentence expresses the cause and the second sentence expresses the consequence. I'm going to link both to make just one sentence. What connector can I use?
therefore,
because,
Cause,
Exactly,
as a result,
right.
consequently,
Consequently,
sequences and sequences of,
because of,
okay, all those, good. When I'm going to exemplify something, what words do I use? So I say this happened, and in order to give the example, what word can I use to connect?
for
for
instance,
instance,
For
for
instance, or
example,
for example, right?
such as,
If both ideas are similar, if two ideas are part of a of or are not opposite but are similar.
likewise,
Exactly. Which other?
Why is
and
exactly. Any other?
also,
Right. When we are going to express a sequence of events, what are the connectors that we can use?
First,
then,
Exactly. First, then,
after,
after that, finally, right? When we express a fact,
because of, no.
no, in fact,
ah,
in fact, okay. The purpose of doing something,
in order to,
in order to, yeah, so, uh,
So then,
so then,
that's
just,
why, no?
that's why, exactly, to express an opinion,
opinion. I agree, I disagree. My
I
opinion,
believe,
I think,
exactly, exactly,
I
okay,
think,
uh-huh. To express a condition,
if,
if, good. So I will show you some sentences and you need to analyze you need to analyze how they relate to each other. Example, these are sentences that belong to an essay that express the idea of staying in a company and being loyal to that place, or the opposite, which is find a different job in other company. So this essay tries to organize the ideas, taking into account what happens in different cultures. In Asia, they prefer to be loyal, while in Europe and USA, they prefer to change jobs. So I have these two sentences. One says, in some countries, most notably in Asia, there is a high degree of loyalty to one company. The second sentence says, in most European countries and the United States, loyalty to one's employer is not highly valued. Sentence one and two are what is cause and consequence, an idea and an example, are opposite ideas, are similar, express a sequence, a fact, a purpose.
opposite ideas,
Which one, Hugo?
opposite ideas.
Opposite ideas. So if I'm going to link both of them, what word can I use?
instead of,
Now I can write. Okay. In some countries, most notably in Asia, there is a high degree of loyalty to one company. Then what can I write?
mm,
On the other hand,
Okay, I can write, guys. I'm sorry. So here will be, on the other hand, in most European countries and the United States, loyalty to one's employer is not highly valued. Good. Let's analyze these two other sentences. In cultures that value loyalty to the employer, a kind of family relationship seems to develop between employer and employee. Sentence 2. It is a reciprocal arrangement and the employer is concerned with assisting the employee to develop to his her full potential and the employee is concerned about optimizing the welfare of the company. Is idea an example, opposite ideas, similar ideas, sequence, fact, purpose, opinion, reinforce the previous idea, express a condition?
Maybe I think I did an example.
Or sequence?
I think it's reinforce the previous idea.
Okay, it's not a sequence because it's not giving the order of steps.
Okay.
Then Juan Pablo, you said that was the idea an example. But if I write here, for example, it is a reciprocal arrangement. No, because here I'm talking about a culture. In cultures that value logic.
Reinforce the previous idea.
Okay, so what connector can I use here? Okay, there is one that is thus, THUS, that is translated as así. It's like to give extra explanations or more details about the first idea that was mentioned. That's right, could be. Okay, let's analyze sentence 3 and 4. The negative aspect to absolute loyalty to one company is that an employee may stay in one job that she probably outgrows and may miss out on opportunities to develop in new directions. That's the negative aspect. 4. From the employer's point of view, the company should have employees whose skills no longer exceed the needs of the company.
However,
However, is to express opposite ideas, right?
yes.
But here we have the negative aspects, and here we have
The part it is speaking about opinion on the employees.
an opinion and express an opinion.
Yeah, expressing a personal opinion. So
No, no, because it would say I consider something, but it's just giving information about what happens in those places where
It's a fact.
It could be, so it will be, the negative aspect is that the employee may outgrow the job and may miss opportunities. In fact, the employer's point of view, no, not because now it changes the idea. Number 4 is not talking about the negative aspect anymore, but what happens with the employer. So because there is a negative aspect, the employers, then we have a point of view from the employers.
For instance,
No. Let's translate it into Spanish. Who wants to translate it into Spanish? Both sentences.
So do I have to translate it?
Okay, Henry, thanks.
El aspecto negativo, bueno, el aspecto negativo de la absoluta lealtad a una compañía es que un empleado debe estar o puede estar en un trabajo que él o ella probablemente crezca y
Supera, conoce más, más de lo
conoce
que se le
más
pide.
y pierda oportunidades para desarrollar nuevos caminos, nuevas direcciones.
Ajá.
Desde el punto de vista del empleador, la compañía debe tener empleados cuyas habilidades no excedan las necesidades de la compañía.
Exacto. Si un empleador, if an employer identifies that this is a negative aspect, so the employer is going to decide to hire only people who don't exceed those skills that the company needs.
cause result.
Yeah, so that's the consequence. So we could use, since we have this negative aspect, therefore, from the employer's point of view, or in consequence, from the employer's point of view, the company needs to hire people who don't exceed those skills that the company needs or that the job needs. Okay. Let's do one more. Sentence 1 and 2. In cultures in which it is quite acceptable to change jobs every few years, employees can build the career they choose for themselves. And number 2, employees can stay with one company as long as it is mutually beneficial to company and employee. What is the relationship between those words, those sentences, sorry? Idea and example, opposite ideas, cause and consequence,
Present facts.
effect. It could be a fact also.
Mm-hmm.
It could reinforce the previous idea, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They are similar. So either we reinforce the previous idea or we add information that is similar. So if we
Therefore,
reinforce,
maybe
therefore is to express consequence, because therefore is a synonym of consequent. So here we need either to reinforce the idea by using in fact, or to add information that is similar by using and, for example. So the people can build their careers and stay in a company as long as it is mutually beneficial for both the company and the employee. Or in fact, employees can stay with one company as long as it is mutually beneficial. Okay? The purpose of this exercise is that you consider the idea of organizing uh, what you want to write in sentences that then you try to connect. So by the time that you start writing a paragraph, you already know how you're going to connect them. In this case, the the essay was about contrasting two cultures and giving advantages and disadvantages for what happened in each one of the cultures. So the second sentence was going to give information about one culture, advantages and disadvantages. The third paragraph was going to give information about the other culture, advantages and disadvantages, and then summarize for the fourth paragraph. So when we need to write, the advice is to write the list of ideas connected to the topic that you need to write about, and then find out how you're going to group the ideas. If you're going to write similar ideas in one paragraph, or you're going to contrast two ideas in one paragraph, or if you're going to give the idea and give examples, etc. So that's like the advice by the time you write. You have questions or comments?
Is there a list with the same categories that you show us before? Because I was with myself looking for the connectors, but the categories are different.
Yes. Okay, but it's in other. I'm going to look for the other file. I have two links where you can find more information about connectors. Now I can type. what happened was that my cat pressed the control button and it remained pressed. And that was the reason why I couldn't write. Okay, I have here the pages. There you will find the list of connectors classified by the type of relationships that exist or that may exist between sentences. Two different pages. So this is important to have in mind since we need to start writing longer tests and more complex sentences. So that's going to help you to practice that. All right. Tomorrow morning I will upload the information for the test that you have to do this week. And yeah, and that's all. Comments before we finish?
No, teacher, it's okay.
Okay, so we'll see next Tuesday, right?
Yeah, teacher.
Yeah.
Okay, teacher. Good night.
Good
Have a
night,
good
teacher.
night,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye, teacher. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye, everybody.